32. Hello everyone and welcome to Wolff&Schafe podcast. My name is Magdalena and this is my little kitty co-host Marat. Meow. We have a Wednesday, the last day of August today. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. It means so much that you stick with me. And if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for checking out my show. This is a knitting, spinning and dyeing podcast in Switzerland, in town of Adliswil near Zurich. And yeah, I'm not feeling exactly well today. It's, of course, if the child gets sick, parents are the next on the list. That's like an obvious thing. That's why I'm drinking not a like regular tea, but an infusion of wild rose and hibiscus. In my awesome mug from Edinburgh Yarn Festival that I bought this spring. So yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry under my full name, which is Magdalena Wolff with double F. And the show notes are usually in the down bar and below on the video. And the links are in the video description on YouTube. I find it quite working for me. Yes, if you enjoy my show, please subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any updates. And I wanted to mention that in October, on the weekend of 8th and 9th, I will be vending at the Swiss Wolle Festival, which will be in Zurich. Yay! I'm so excited. It's my first festival ever, and I'm just preparing a lot for the festival, and it's very exciting and amazing. But these are not all announcements. It's not a new announcement. I will just remind you that we are having a unicorn along, and I'm co-hosting this knit along with Kristen from Yarngasm. Hi Kristen. And it's just an amazing theme of unicorns, which includes narwhals as well. So if you're interested, check out Kristen's and mine respective groups on Ravelry. My group is Wolff&Schafe podcast, and there are threads, one for chatter and sharing your inspirations and showing your progress, and one for finished objects that will be used for drawing the prize. And it's okay to double dip, like in both Kristen's and my group. And what else? Oh yeah, the deadline is by the end of September. So let's start with knitting. Some of you might remember from last episode I have finished the head of the unicorn and the body and sewn them together, but the head was like really flexible, like too flexible, and the unicorn was either staring at the sky or just very, very sad. So thank you so much to everybody who gave me advice on how to fix my unicorn. And I really appreciate it. It was so amazing to get so many answers about that. And I think, excuse me, a message. I think it's better now. It's still floppy like it is on the pictures in the pattern, but it's not terrible. And I think I will stop with this because the unicorn is not very sad anymore. She has like a proper neck. What I did was to cut the yarn that I used for sewing the head on, and I added some stuffing inside, and I just I have sewn the neck like broader on the head. So before, I think my largest mistake was to make the neck too thin, and now I allowed it to like grab more space, and thanks to this it's not, well, I think it's acceptable right now, and I think it's cute. Yes, you are. And the pattern is Nila the Unicorn by Rachel Borello. Excuse me. Yes, Rachel Borello Carroll. And I knitted also one leg. This is so cute. Also, because I'm using a yarn that I hold double, and it's a bit thicker this way than my main color. The hoof is so like cutely round. It's just a bit bigger than the body of the leg, and I think it's cute, but I will be stuffing this anyway, so maybe the difference will be fixed by that, but anyway. How cute! So I'm knitting on a set of DPNs. These are Addi Colibri, and it's 3.75 millimeter needles. Metal ones, they're empty inside and so very light and not very slippery, and I love them. And then they are colorful. So the contrasting color yarn is Lang Yarns Classico, and they're white with some number that I don't know exactly what is the number of the color because I lost the tag, but yeah, it's just simple white. Well, it's very pretty anyway, and it's around a DK weight that I'm holding double. And this is my hand-dyed yarn, Wolff&Schafe on Romulus base, which is a 100% superwash merino in worsted weight. And the colorway is Silver Towers. And it's, yeah, and it's these grays, like bit variegated grays. More brownish shades, more bluish shades, and I really am enjoying knitting with it because I think it just looks good. And so a progress has been made on one of my shawls, because I decided that because I have two projects where I'm at the moment where the complicated applied border is to be made, and I just had to focus on one project because this way I don't know, it will be very hard to finish anything. So I just decided, because Ashling was first, I got pretty much focused on Ashling. And as you can see, oh, everything is tangled, sorry. So I reached the half of the border. And I can't believe it, because I can't believe I haven't done more, because I put so much work into this. Yeah, so this is where I've been last week, and I knitted this much. Thank you so much to everybody because I posted a picture of this shawl on Instagram, and I got some supporting messages, like comments under the picture. So thank you very much to everyone. I really appreciate it, because I feel like it's a struggle between me and the pattern, and as I said, I'm stubborn. So I will finish this shawl. I will, yeah. One day. And I'm knitting on my interchangeable Knit Pros, just like metal ones. I really like them. They are also very affordable, so yay. It's 3.5 millimeters, so I think it's US 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to learn this, because yeah, it's if you have grown up with, for example, metrics, yards, and US needle sizes are completely vague to you, and vice versa. So I can imagine if some of you, my dear viewers, are from the States, you might not get the metrics. So I always try to check these things, but sometimes I just forget. So sorry about that. The yarn I'm using is again a Wolff&Schafe, and this is a paw base in Vodnik colorway, and this is Belladonna in Honey colorway. And I think it looks so pretty. So pretty. Maybe I will zoom. So yeah, there you go. And once it's blocked, it will be amazing. And this is the reason I fell in love with this pattern, because it's very beautiful. I just forgot that I don't like knitting cables. So yeah, the pattern is, I forgot to say, is by Justyna Lorkowska. And she makes amazing patterns. It's just me and cables. We are not... I'm hoping that we will become better friends, but after I'm done with this project, I will skip most of the cable patterns for some time. I think so, yeah. So I have more projects, and I have really a lot of progress on my grandma's socks. Ta-da! So I've been here last week, just after this funny little purling bar that I added for just a minimum of interest, and I just yesterday I have finished the heel in one of them. So yay! I've been naughty, and I have cast on another pair of socks, because this pair is for my grandmother, and I'm knitting from Cascade Yarns 220 sock in dark plum colorway on my 2.5 millimeter Chow Goose, which is 1.5 US size, 2 at a time on this long cable, which is my favorite way of knitting socks. But I've been wanting to cast a pair of socks for myself for some time. So and I also had an idea for the socks, so I just couldn't wait, and I just cast them on. So they will be plain vanilla socks, but with contrasting toes, heels and cuffs. Dun, dun, dun. I just started them, and the my contrasting color is Woolen yarns on blitzed base in Neptunia colorway. I should have some more here. Yeah. So after knitting my socks from the skein I got from Kristen. I had this much left, so I thought, yeah, I might use it for the contrasting color of one pair of socks. And in my stash I had for some time now Jinx yarns. Jinx yarns on Power Sock Base in the Eternal Sonata colorway. Look at these colors. Aren't they just amazing? Laura is so talented. She makes all those really complex colorways, and yeah, I just couldn't help myself and couldn't stop myself from buying. And yeah, and this is oh, this is lovely Woolen Vine Yarns Neptunia. I love it so much, and it has some gold stellina in it. So I thought that since Laura and Kristen are friends, it would be so cool, just so cool, to put their yarns together into one project. So I'm pretty excited about this pair, and I'm using another pair of Chow Goose in exactly the same size as my grandma's socks. So yay! This is Jinx Yarns logo, and what I have left for knitting is a tiny progress on my Cozy Memories blanket. And where is it? Oh yeah, this one square. So after finishing the body of the Wolf Woods shawl by Agata Mackiewicz, I had really a small amount of yarn left, and I thought it would be enough for a square in my blanket, but it was not even that. This is all. So this is the Wolff&Schafe Sigmund in Sakura colorway, and this I just thought it would look awesome if I added some strong pop of color. So this is from my hand spun from this square, and it's a 3-ply yarn, Navajo ply, that I spun from the Woolly Witches Rolex in the Hogs the Phoenix colorway. So yeah, not much progress on my blanket this week, but hey, half of the border of Ashling is done! And I love how my blanket looks like. And I'm using my Knit Pro Zings DPNs in 3mm size, in this little bamboo crochet hook with is like the same size, 3mm, no name because I lost the package. So and this will be it for knitting finally. Oh yeah, about this colorway Eternal Sonata. I know that Lara from Jinx Yarns, she enjoys dyeing colorways inspired by anime or computer games, and it just sounded familiar, and I thought, wait a minute, isn't this the name of a Japanese computer game about Frédéric Chopin? Which is, I know, sounds weird, but it's Japanese people, they have incredible ideas. So it is a computer game about Frédéric Chopin, the most famous Polish composer ever. And I thought, wow, that's awesome. And I really love this colorway, so I had to have it. Oh yeah, and Laura, she confirmed that it is indeed inspired by that game, because I asked her. It's a bit, yeah, I'm not explaining it very well, but again, I'm not 100% today. So I have some spinning to show you. Where is it? Ta-da! So this is a very fun skein, I think. I have decided to spin yarn from two sources of fiber at the same time, and it's a single ply. It looks like it's plied yarn, but it's not. And I have put oh yeah, I have it here. I have put two rolags together, and I used one of them as this. It's Fafnir's Heart by Wolff&Schafe fibers, and oh, and the other is not yet used, and the Crystal Ice Cave. So I wanted to try this technique after watching the class by Felicia Lowe, spinning dyed fibers, and this is the result. I think it's so much fun, and I can't wait to put it into my blanket and to see it knitted up. But yeah, I think that these rolags, the fibers were very fine, so it was very difficult to just spin them together, just hold them together and draw them together, because all the time one of them would break, and I just had to draft, like hold them together but draft separately, both of them, and it was really a lot of work, really. So I don't think I will repeat the experience with such fine fibers, but maybe with some just wool, because this was some baby llama, very fine merino, things like that. So yes, I want to repeat this experiment, but not with this type of fiber. And as for dyeing, I'm prepping for the festival, so I'm dyeing just like crazy. But I have some new colorways to show you. I think they are very, well, fun. So this is a new colorway called Dylan. And I will explain just in a moment. This colorway was existing before. I just changed it a little bit, so I called it the Copper Age, just for fun. And this one, I'm in love with this one. I called it Corona Borealis, after the constellation. So it's mostly blues, like various shades of blue plus purple speckles. So about this colorway, why Dylan, and also why Corona Borealis? It's just, I'm again on the mythological kick, you know. Just recently I've been watching the movie Troy with Gleb. I've seen this movie before, but he hasn't, so we watched it together, and then I just wanted, you know, to refresh some of my Trojan War information, so I of course grabbed my Polish version, like Polish edition of Robert Graves' Greek Myths. And I just started, you know, reading on that topic, and then again I got drawn into, and I started reading more and more. So I have read like half of the book by now, just from the end till the beginning, if that makes any sense. It's just the Trojan War is by the end, so I read the part by the end, and then I was going back every chapter. And I'm not reading because the construction of this book is so that first you get the story, the myth itself, and it's like taken from various ancient sources, and then there's an attempt at interpretation. So because I mostly know all those myths already by now after reading this book a couple of times, I just stick to the interpretation part because it's very interesting, and that's how I managed to read half of the book. But anyway, Dylan, it's a name it's a name of a god from Celtic myths, and his name means, according to some sources, it means son of the wild sea. And I just looked at this colorway and I thought, yeah, it's like various faces of the sea, you know? It can be really like this turquoise and very calm and nice, but it can be really dark and dangerous when it's, yeah, when it's wilder. And what I love about Robert Graves, I don't treat this book like, how to say it, I know that he's not an acclaimed, he's not, I know that he wasn't a scientist, a scholar in mythologies, and that many scholars deny him, well, they believe he just went too far in his interpretations. But I really love his technique of interpreting myths and like dividing them into pieces that appear in different myths, and it's just surprising how these pieces, they repeat themselves. But anyway, this is not about crafting. I just love Robert Graves, and he openly admits in his other very famous book, The White Goddess, no, it's just White Goddess, that he just used his imagination, but in the world that we don't know some things because they were lost to the memory, it's probably the only way to fill the gaps, and he presents to the readers his own interpretations. I don't agree with everything he writes, but I really love his books. So anyway, this is Dylan, and this is Dylan on Belladonna, and this is on my new base, Lycos Decay, which is 100% superwash BFL. And it's a bit more muted, like looks more serious than on Belladonna. What I also love about Robert Graves, that he doesn't stick only to Greek mythology when he writes about Greek mythology. He just reaches around the world. So, for example, he was British, so he was very interested in all the beliefs that were on the British Islands, the British Isles. So yes, so Celtic myths, completely fine with him. And this one, so Corona Borealis is the name of a constellation believed to be a crown of Princess Ariadne from Crete, and she's a very interesting heroine, or even you could call her a goddess. And I've been to Crete. It's one of my favorite places ever. So I thought, since I love this colorway so much, I will just call it this, and it reminds me of the night sky as well. So, and I think these two would look awesome together. If you are into like strong contrasts, that is. But with Dylan, maybe. Yeah, also interesting. So I think I will skip my life segment because I already told you what I've been up to. It was Robert Graves. I will just mention that I got a bit, excuse me, I just made some noise. So I got annoyed by the fact that in this edition, and it's not the first edition, I have an older edition back home in Poland, and I understand that you have to have a really broad knowledge to translate a book like this, but then I read it and I realized I find mistakes in translation because, for example, the translator did not realize that some of the characters is actually a female, not a male. And it was probably not obvious from the construction of the English original, but in Polish he used, of course, he used a he, but it was a she, and she was from Celtic myths as well, so maybe he specialized in Greek mythology. And so anyway, for me it's a very famous story, and not to know it, it was like, what's that? So I thought it's high time just to order my own copy of the original English version. So it's on my way from the Amazon UK, and I did not read this book in the original before, only because it contains a really difficult and specific language that yeah, I wanted to understand everything really well, so I chose the Polish version. But now, if I'm fixing mistakes by the translator with my pencil inside the book, it's just time to get the original and try that thing. So both Greek myths and White Goddess are on their way. And yeah, I think this is it for today. I'm not feeling really well, so I will just finish at that. And thank you so much for watching. Happy knitting, and we will see you next time.